Good morning and welcome. Welcome to the Ventura Center for Spiritual Living. We have the lovely and talented Karen Mitchell filling in for Chris Kimbler today. We give her love and support. Let's start our service by standing up and singing together our congregational song, which is Live Your Bliss, written by our very own Karen Mitchell. She'll lead us in song together as we sing. And let us breathe together and become still as we anchor in Karen's beautiful words and listen to the words of our sacred reading.
Small Kindnesses by Danusha Lemaris. I've been thinking about the way when you walk down a crowded aisle, people pull in their legs to let you by. Or how strangers still say, bless you, when someone sneezes. A leftover from the bubonic plague. Don't die, they are saying. And sometimes when you spill lemons from your grocery bag, someone helps you pick them up. Mostly we don't want to harm each other. We want to be handed our cup of coffee hot and to say thank you to the person handing it, to smile at them and for them to smile back, for the waitress to call us honey when she sets down the bowl of clam chowder, for the driver in the red pickup truck to let us pass. We have so little of each other now. So far from tribe and fire. Only these brief moments of exchange. What if they are the true dwelling of the holy? These fleeting temples we make together when we say, here, have my seat. Go ahead, you first. I like your hat. And so it is.
And so it is. Thank you. And so we anchor together in that beautiful essence of these fleeting temples, of this time that we have together here on the planet Earth in this sacred sanctuary. And in this time we remember the truth about our existence, that another name for God or love or absolute reality is I am. And so today we remember that together, singing together, I am remembering who I am, knowing this truth for ourselves, knowing that we are the I am presence, and knowing it for all beings everywhere. Together we sing, I am remembering. We rest and we remember in the grace and the wholeness of the universe. We breathe into that awareness and then exhale, opening our eyes in love and in service to what is, as it is, and so it is.
Good morning. It's so good to be here. I love this sign up here. It says, be love, share love, serve love. We are love. That's another name for God. I always ask people, what's the most powerful energy force in the universe? And they seem to be puzzled all the time. And I say, it's love. It's love. And you are love. In this moment, in this place, I remember who I am, letting fear and worry fall away from me. I open my eyes and I see There is only love. There is only love. It's a love that heals, love that sets me free. There is only love. When I lose myself, when I feel that I've lost my way, oh no, when I go inside and I quiet my mind and I hear Spirit, sweet Spirit, gently say, there is only love. There is only love. It's a love that heals, love that sets me free. Yeah, there's only love. There is only love. There is only love. It's a love that heals, love that sets me free. Yeah. There's only love. Yes, there's only love. Only love, there's only love. Just open up your heart, you'll see there's only love. Only love. There's only love.
All right, so here we are. The message today is called Proof of God. And I questioned that because I'm thinking that many people here believe in God and maybe don't need proof, but there may be some that don't, and we don't really need to convert you. That's fine if you don't want to believe in God. It's cool with me. But what happens sometimes is that people forget that God is a synonym for good, right? God is a synonym for good, or for love, as Michael said. And sometimes in challenging times, we forget that good is present. We forget to believe in good when our backs are up against the wall or when things are challenging. So there's that. And then there's also this thought that we teach in this denomination that we are one with God. And I think that from time to time, one or two of us might forget to believe that we are one with God. Am I correct in that? It happens from time to time. So, part of this is the way that we're made. I've been reading about this thing called negativity bias. I've been reading about reality too, by the way, but we'll get there. Negativity bias, which is our brain's tendency to focus on something negative and turn that into reality. The negative thing happens, we register it or we receive it, we rewind it over and over again, we remember it, and then we call it reality. 4 R's. Remember, rewind, No, sorry. Receive, rewind, rewind, receive, replay, rewind, reality. All right? And I have a feeling that people here have done that. Like, have you ever, been in a performance review, a job performance review, or you've gotten some type of other review, or you're in a conversation and you say one thing, or the person says one thing to you that's bad about yourself, and what do you remember about the whole thing? You remember that one bad incident, or that one comment that seemed negative, that seemed like it was against you somehow. So there's that going on all of the time, and that we're constantly using this negativity bias to shape our reality. There's a lot of research on it, and it's true, and we can look at our own experience to recognize that it's true. The good news about that is that we can turn it around. We can create a positivity bias instead, and I think that's part of the purpose of this talk, is to help us recognize that there is proof of God in the universe and that we can focus on that versus making a mini-series out of the negative things that happen to us. I'm so glad I'm not alone in that, right? I looked up all of these fancy, schmancy ideas about what is proof of God. Some of it was biblical. Some of it was stuff that I completely use as proof of God. For example, nature and physiology and music and art. My first 3 churches, I would say, are those things. People like mystical teachers like Rupert Spira, Ernest Holmes, might say that proof of God is recognizing that infinite subject, which is God, which is absolute reality, created us out of itself and put on a costume. And you can always still recognize the face of the person when they're wearing a costume. You can recognize their body language. But part of us forgets who we are. That's why we sing that song every Sunday, I am remembering who I am. But honestly, I think that the simplest proof of God is sitting right here in the center, particularly in the center where we are focused on loving kindness. I think proof of God is, that's about my shirt, folks, nothing else. Now you get it, okay? I think proof of God is this is this infrastructure of kindness that exists within the world. In that reading that Hugh just read about how people will automatically get their legs out of the way so you can pass, and that people will help you if you've dropped something, or that people sometimes will let you in the freeway. There is this, what we call here the mycelium network. Mycelium is like this fungal thing that plants all communicate with each other. And there is this mycelium network, this unseen network of kindness that is around us all the time. So part of ourselves proving God and finding God for ourselves, and also recognizing our own God presence within us, part of that is recognizing kindness. It is, just like we did with the negative bias, it is receiving it, rewinding it, playing the kindness over and over again, remembering it, and then having that be our reality. So today I'm just going to tell you some stories about kindnesses that I've observed or received and that I've remembered, so that you too can look in your own lives and see where this is going for you, where you have received or given kindness, and make a big deal about it. Make it your reality. Because it's so subtle sometimes, and we tend to focus on the negative. This is truly important for the healing of our planet and for our world. So I'm going to tell you about something in my life that many of you know, that I have many, many, many animals. I shared a typical day in my house recently with some of you, and I'll give you the edited version. Take the dogs for a 6-mile hike, come back, get the rabbit and the guinea pig out of the living room into their outdoor pen. Do something about all the hay on the living room floor. Go out on an errand, probably to the feed store, come back. There's a box on the front steps that says that there's something alive in it. I thought it was a plant. It was a box of frogs that Hugh had ordered. Tadpoles. Call Hugh, ask him what he wants me to do with the tadpoles, put the tadpoles in the fish pond, say hello to the fish, put them in their special, he said, put them in their special tadpole birthing area or whatever it is. I didn't know we had one, but he told me where it was, and put them in there. take the tadpole food, put it on the chair in Hugh's office, go to bed that night. No, wait, before that, Hugh comes home and tells me that the cockatiels had 7 unauthorized babies. Go to bed that night. In my slumber, the dogs ate the tadpole food and vomited it on my rug. Get up in the morning, go to the bathroom, step in the... So this is my life. And so you can understand that perhaps I was not looking for another pet, but a baby turtle was found in our aviary. Now we also have 2 ancient box turtles named Carolina and Duke. And we thought that maybe they had procreated and given us a baby turtle. So I took it in, wasn't doing very well, so I brought it to the vet the next day. Oh, Jesus, I heard that. Who said Jesus? Was that you? Oh, it was him. Oh, Jesus. That's the best thing that's happened today so far. So I brought it to the vet. So I'm standing at the vet's receptionist, and Diana comes up to me. She's one of the vet techs, and she's asking me to check in my pet. And what's his name? Baby Turtle, as of now. What's his gender? I don't know. How old is he? I don't know. What color is he? I think I should just show him to you, and you can tell. So I pull him out of my pocket, because he's as big as a silver dollar. I pull him out, I show him to Diana, and all of a sudden, it's like J-Lo walked into the vet's office. Oh my gosh, the paparazzi with their cell phones taking pictures of baby turtle, and the people behind the desk and the people in front of the desk waiting online to see the baby turtle, wanting to see him and worship at his feet. That was finished. I put him back in my pocket. And then Jen, the vet tech, came up and said, holding a clipboard, "Baby turtle to the back, please. Baby turtle to the back." So I traveled to the back with baby turtle. And then the same thing happened. I pulled him out of my pocket. Because she was getting ready to weigh him. She's getting out the scale, and I'm like, no, not going to happen. Need a smaller scale. I pulled him out, and she oohed and awed over him too. And she said, "I'm going to bring him to the back." And in the back, it was like an explosion of joy. Everybody was so excited about baby turtle. They were saying things like, "Let's get a picture. What do we put him next to for scale so we can see how tiny he really is? How about an M&M?" Okay. So Jen comes back, shows me a picture of baby turtle next to an M&M, and the exam proceeds. The vet comes in, she looks at him, she says, "It's not a box turtle, it's a water turtle. And because it's a water turtle, you're going to need a whole entire new setup for him." You need a tank and some water and some land and a light for him, so he's going to be in there for 2 years, and you can't put him in your fish pond until he's big enough or the fish will eat him. So in the midst of this conversation, Jen, very kind Jen, said, "I have the complete setup for reptiles, for amphibians, reptiles, whatever, and I can give it to you." And I said, "Why don't you just take him?" And she was so excited. She was so excited to inherit this baby turtle. And the next time I went to the vet, which is frequently, I came maybe, I don't know, two or 3 weeks later, came back, and Jen showed me pictures of baby turtle, who's now named Squirt, in his new habitat, which is, the guy lives better than I do, okay? He's got a little bridge and some rocks and a pond, and the sweetest thing is that her aunt painted a mural behind him of ferns and all kinds. So he's like living in his native habitat, more or less. You can't make that stuff up. And you can't put a price on it. It is completely priceless that this veterinary technician named Jen, who knows she's in my talk today, I hope she listens to it, that she took this baby turtle and took him under her wing, and that there was such excitement for all... Whoa, hello, Kenny. Kenny's shaking his head. There was, if it does it again, I'm picking up that mic. There was such excitement for this little creature that was so tiny and so innocent that didn't know he was going to be the topic of a church service. Not to mention the fact that God sent us a water turtle in our aviary where there is no water. Who knows? What this teaches me is that small things matter. In the realm of infinity, there is no large or small. In the realm of infinity, small is the same as big. And so any small act of kindness that you do or witness is proof that God is delivering its presence through you and to you all of the time. So if there's someone in your life that you love and admire, even someone in your life that you don't love and admire, take a closer look. Take a closer look at yourself and see if you can witness all of the tiny acts of kindness that you do constantly, that they do constantly, all day long. And know that it is this network that is throughout the whole world, because I looked up how many veterinary technicians there are in the United States, and there are 80,000. And that's not to mention all of the other people who give care in one way or another. Perhaps some of you sitting here in this sanctuary. In fact, inevitably, I would say all of you sitting in this sanctuary who care for loved ones, family members, pets, or care as part of your work. You are part of the network of kindness, which means that you are part of the life of God. Another kindness story. I traveled to Simi Valley to have my hair cut because I go to somebody who doesn't care that I don't care about my hair. She asked me, "What do you want?" I say, "I don't know." She said, "Where do you part it?" I say, "I don't know." She says, "Can we check the length of your bangs?" I say, "I don't care how long they are. If they're too long, I'll cut them with a pair of nail scissors." Her name is Marina, and she is so sweet. I told her the last time I was there that I was going to go to Jordan. I'm going to Jordan in a week, and I'm going to be attending a transgenerational trauma conference there, and also doing some work with Syrian refugees. And when I told Marina that, most people ask me, first of all, is it safe? And I think it is. Not so sure right at the moment, but I think it's safe. But Marina didn't ask that. What she said was, "I want to go. I want to go. I'm going to go with you. I don't care how much it costs. I'm going to go. I want to go. I want to go." I'm like, "I get that you want to go. You don't even know me. I don't really even know what's going on there." She said, I want to go." "Well, why do you want to go?" "Because I want to bring my scissors and my combs and my blow dryer, and I want to work with those Syrian women and give them beautiful hair." Is that the sweetest thing? Is that the sweetest thing? It turned out that the dates weren't right, and I would actually prefer to check it out first myself and make sure that there is stuff for us to do. But, again, that's something that is priceless, that she's taking her gifts and using them in service and seeing a need that wasn't seen before, that I couldn't see, because I don't care about my hair, but she does. And what this teaches me about kindness is that even in tragedy, even in the darkest tragedy, tragedy is not tragedy. It is opportunity for kindness and compassion and grace to emerge. And the kindness and the compassion and the grace shines brighter because of the darkness that once was. So again, for all of us, there is something difficult, something challenging, something even tragic in your lives. See if you can call forth the gift of kindness and compassion in yourselves and in others, and recognize that God is in there too. It is proof of God. And that God is in you as you call that forth. God is in us always, but we recognize it as we call forth the knowing that tragedy is not tragedy. It is proof that compassion can flourish no matter what. This next story is a little political. I said a little political, in case you didn't hear me. I don't talk about politics in the church. This is a politics-free zone because I embrace everyone. Did you hear that Ellen DeGeneres got in trouble this week? Yes. Yeah. So she got in trouble for sitting at a football game next to George Bush and looking like she was having fun. And I watched her monologue afterwards, and she said, I got in trouble. People were upset with me because I was sitting next to George W. Bush, and it looked like we were having fun. And people do what when people get upset, they do what they always do. They tweet. right? And so there was lots of Twitter going on about how she shouldn't have done that, how she shouldn't be next to somebody who, and looking like she's having fun with somebody whose politics and policies are so different than hers. And her response to that was, I like a lot of people who are different than me, and I can be friends with anybody. You know, the point of the tweets was that I had to look at this with compassion too, the people that telling her that she shouldn't be friends with this person. I had to look at that and say, oh, look, there's that negativity bias that I'm talking about. They're seeing this as a threat somehow, so let's have compassion for that. But also, let's lift Ellen DeGeneres up in her words that she chose afterwards. She in her monologue, I'll send it on the newsletter. She chose to respond with such wit and such kindness. She talked about how when she came to she was sitting in the owner's box at the game, and it was two teams. I believe it was the Packers and the Cowboys. Thank you. I'm looking at Jennifer because she knows these things. And she said she knew she would be with people who were different with her. She was sitting in the Cowboys box, and then she confessed that she's really a Packers fan. That she had to take her cheesehead hat and put it in Portia's purse. But she said again, like I mentioned before, she said that she is friends with lots and lots of different people, and that she believes that this is part of the healing of the world, is to be able to be with people who are different than us and to talk about it. You know, how are we ever going to have a civilized conversation if we don't even sit in the presence of people who are different politically or otherwise than us? Now, the other really special part about this encounter was that Annette saw it, and Annette suggested that as our center, because we talk about kindness so much, and Ellen's message was basically just be kind to everyone. Be kind to everyone. Annette suggested that we send Ellen and Portia 2 kindness shirts. So we did. We sent them some heart pins from India and 2 kindness shirts, and we told them the story of the shirts, and we just wrote a really supportive and loving letter to her, because she's getting a lot of negative feedback right now, and she's probably doing the negative bias thing and not recognizing that there are people there that believe in what she did. I personally believe in what she did, and if you don't, I completely believe in your right to not believe. You know, which brings me to politics. There are some places in the world where it seems like this idea of transcending negativity is absolutely impossible. But I'm here to tell you that it is. I have a friend in Spain. His name is Josera, and he lives in a small town in Spain, and he decided to run for mayor. Or not for mayor. He decided to run for some council position. And he's never been in politics before, but he decided he was going to do it differently. And he has this whole list of criteria for his campaign, and I don't remember all of the items, but one of them was that he was not going to criticize his opponent ever. And the other one was that he was going to amplify the good qualities of his opponent by speaking about the good things that this opponent had done in his reign as whatever the position was. Now, Josera did not win the election, but, and that's okay, that's okay. But the people in charge running the election were so delighted by his attitude that they gave him another position in government. It was an appointed position, and they gave it to him. So you see what is possible. You see what is possible. And that was a little tiny village in Spain, and we're not going to hear about that. We hear about all of the bad stuff on the news. We're not going to hear that somebody transcended past political norms and decided to be positive about everything. If it's possible in a little tiny village in Spain, it's possible for all of us. So, that was kindness in action. I see people chuckling. That was kindness in action. And it's not about changing other people. It's about holding space for the possibility that kindness can come up in the darkest circumstances, and knowing that part of that is to transcend and to get to the edges of our comfort and go past the preconceived notions that we have about anything, politics or illness or anything else, to move past our preconceived notions and to try something different. I don't know if this ever happens to you, but sometimes I'll have a crazy kindness idea, and I'll start to do it, and then I'll be like, oh, that's too ridiculous. I don't want to do that. Does that happen to anybody? You stop yourself from doing acts of kindness. What if we could commit together to just go with the first impulse to be kind? Just to love one another and be willing to look like a fool for doing it, because sometimes you do look like a fool. I've been there. every Sunday. But what if we could just transcend that thing that stops us and just be kind with pure intention? There are so many opportunities to do that, not only in our world, and if you want to start someplace, right here is an excellent place. I was talking with someone the other day, and she was asking me, what do you need in terms of volunteers? One thing we really need is people to take care of our bunnies. You know how like when kids get a pet, right? They're all really enthusiastic. And then the mom ends up taking care of the pet. We could use some extra bunny caregivers. It's really easy, 10 minutes or so a day. And if you want to love and socialize on them, like our beautiful Carol who is doing that, she is single-handedly taming those bunnies, I swear. And no, there are others too. It's not single-handedly, but that's a great place to do an act of kindness to an animal. An act of kindness might be serving as a greeter, giving somebody a warm handshake or a hug. An act of kindness can be bringing some food in to share with us when we do our hospitality or our prasad after the service. It's so many things. And trust me, the kindness that we build here ripples. It ripples to Ellen DeGeneres, who ripples around the world. It ripples to India. It ripples on the map that we have. You see all of the places where we touched. It will ripple with me to Simi Valley, to my hairdresser, and ripple to Jordan, with the Syrian refugees. It ripples all over. And we are all these powerhouses of kindness ripples. So will you know that about yourself? And know that that is proof of God. But in order to prove God, you have to act and live like the truth is true. Let us commit to doing that now. Let us pray. Oh, wait, before we pray, sorry. Let us pray. Oh, no, don't pray. Don't pray now. I wanted to close with a quote. This is from St. Teresa of Avila, and I'm going to paraphrase it in terms of kindness, I hope. Kindness has no body on earth but yours, no hands but yours, no feet but yours. Yours are the eyes through which kindness shines compassion to the world. Yours is the heart through which kindness flows. All praise to the one life that is kindness. Now let us pray. So I turn within and absolutely trust and know this power and this beauty, this love, that is the perfection of kindness, that is all that is the grace, that is the wonder, that is the joy that fills our spirit always. Whether we see it or not, it is there. And so right now we consciously unify with that essence of kindness, that truth of kindness, which is absolute, which is real, which is omnipresent. In this unification, we know that kindness is ours to give away, to receive. We receive kindness with ease. We give away kindness with grace. We recognize the kindness of others, this mycelium network that is infiltrating all of the spaces of the planet. We recognize that anything that seems like it's against us, any tragedy, any difficulty, is an opportunity for greater kindness and compassion to emerge. We recognize that kindness requires out-of-the-box thinking. In order to prove God in places where it seems like kindness is completely absent, we may need to stretch past our comfort zones. And so we accept all of this, and we know it. And we know that something great within us, that place within us that came to earth to wear a disguise and to pretend that we're not what we know we are, that place within us remembers. That place within us is homesick for kindness, homesick for wholeness. And so we allow it to come home right now in this sacred space, in this sanctuary, proving itself to us over and over again as we prove our kindness to the world, as we prove it. And so I'm just so grateful. So grateful for the evolution of souls that has happened here today. So grateful for the evolution of the planet that we participate in every time we come together as a spiritual community and commit to absolute love as we do every Sunday in between. I bless the spiritual center and all of the people in it. I bless all paths to God, churches, synagogues, temples, mosques, ashrams, and with a heart that is so filled with blessedness and so filled with love, I say thank you, Spirit. Thank you, God. I release this word into the divine mystery, and together we say, and so it is.
People get ready, there's a train a-coming. You don't need no baggage, you just get on board. All you need is some faith to hear the diesel humming. You don't need no ticket, no, you just thank the Lord. Oh yeah. So people get ready, there's a train to Jordan, picking up passengers, coast to coast. Faith is key, open the door and board them. There's hope for all among the love the most, love the most. Who's the love the most? Are you loved the most? Yeah. For there ain't no room for the hopeless sinner who would hurt all mankind just to save his own. Have a pity on those whose choices grow thinner. There's no hiding place among the kingdom's throne. No hiding place. Ain't no hiding place. Ain't no hiding place. No hiding place. So people get ready. There's a train to Jordan, picking up passengers coast to coast. Faith is key, open the door and board them. There's overall among the love the most, love the most, love the most, love the most. Oh, you love the most. One more time. Yeah. People get ready. There's a train to Jordan, picking up passengers coast to coast. Faith is key. Open the door and board them. There's hope for all among the love the most. There's hope for all among the love. Are you love the most?